Hey guys, well I'm kind of racing the rain here, so I'm going to try to make this video rather short, but here is our new Derby truck joining the fleet here at the beginning of our 2018 season. This is a 2000 F250 Super Duty with a regular cab, long bed. I have been reading about these Super Duties for some time now and have heard that they are pretty good derby trucks, especially up in the front end, which has always been our Achilles heel, so to speak, when it comes to derby trucks. So I wanted to make sure to get a vehicle that had a nice, good front end on it. And give you guys just a quick walk around so you can see the truck for yourself. It did get in a little bit of a, look like a fender bender, where a lot of the front fiberglass grill and that sort of stuff all got busted up, as well as the hood skin and then the outer fender skin on the passenger front. So we'll have to get a few new panels. However, the core support appears to be unaffected. It didn't look bent when I went and originally looked at this truck here. And so at that point, you know, we can throw anything really on there as long as it's going to be more structurally sound than what's there. So we'll figure out something. If you guys have any panels for sale, feel free to send us an email. It also is the 4x4 model, so that means it's got the nice straight axle across the front here. It's also got leaf springs in the front, so that's kind of the nice combination there. As far as for derby, it should be pretty tough and should hold up well, especially compared to you know, say the old Chevy that we had over there that was just two-wheel drive in the front, and the front end just didn't hold up. So it's going to be a little beefier being four-wheel drive. Again, you know, just pretty beat up from being used as a work truck. It was used for snow removal and lawn care and those sorts of things. You know, your typical Ford rust at the bottoms of the rockers. The cab is kind of rusty, but it's still solid where it counts. Haven't really ripped up the floor too much here, the carpeting, but it didn't look like there was any holes going up through. Try to peek underneath if you guys want to see it. You know, it's got your typical Ohio, Indiana rust. It just is what it is, and this was used as a plow truck in the wintertime, so obviously exposed to salt and whatnot. But still some decent parts here in the interior. We got to get the seat bolted back together. Try to use the original one, might as well. One thing that I thought was nice is that it does have the floor shifter for four-wheel drive. So what I'm hoping to be able to do is take that off and put it into my 2001 Super Duty that we use there for hauling the derby vehicles. So hopefully we can use that, because that one, the 2001, for some reason has that dial, and if anybody has had one of these trucks that had the auto dial, auto select for 4 high, 4 low, and that sort of thing, it is not working. And honestly, trying to get it troubleshooted, it's just not worth the money. A lot of times the computers go out and other things, but I've heard nothing but horror stories of guys changing all that stuff and still not having it work. The bed is pretty rusty, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of one of those things, I saw how rusty it was, but I also saw how solid the frame appeared to be, even though it is flaky. You know, again, typical Ohio, Indiana kind of rust. But for what we're gonna do, that'll be just fine. We'll try to pre-bend it in, fold them in, see what we can do as far as bolting. Probably try to weld that structural piece in there, that bar going across, just to kind of keep that from flapping, or just pre-bend it all. We'll figure it out along the way. The back bumper is a little banged up, but we'll probably end up pulling this thing anyway and just running the tailgate across the back. Not entirely sure yet. We'll see. We always change our minds with some of this stuff. Tailgate wise, right now it's just got this fifth wheel style thing across the back. We do have a tailgate that the gentleman that sold the truck to us threw in with the truck, so that was really great. Thank you, Mark. Also got the original bumper skin that was up in the front, just had that strapped down in the bed to get it home. Probably not going to use that for anything, maybe try to sell it to somebody in case they need it, but honestly it'll probably just be scrap metal. keep on walking around here. Same old story on this side as well, as far as the amount of rust and everything else in the wheel wells. My truck has the exact same rust in that spot. We kind of cut it out, patched it up, and then obviously we put the flares on it, which is a very popular thing to do with some of these older trucks, and there's a reason. It kind of covers all this stuff up. You know, we stop the rust, treat it, replace it, but there's only so much you can do to make sure those lines match up. So again, you know, kind of rusty. I never even really peeked into the bed. It does have this all-weather coating, but it is pretty flaky underneath. There's some soft spots even. So not entirely sure what we're going to do about all that, if we're going to still keep this bed and run it as it is, or maybe try to score a good deal on the interweb somewhere and just swap it out with something maybe even a little bit more solid. But you can see all the rust up in here. I mean, the salt was not kind to this bed in particular. Again, same rod on this side. Not much to write home in with this. I just kind of tucked the extra pieces that were in the back into it. It has a busted windshield. It appears that the hood probably maybe came open or something during that hit, and it caused it to bust the windshield. You can see it looks pretty consistent with where that would have hit, but you know, just presuming at this point, just an idea. I don't know if it's true or not. As I said, the front fender skin on this side is missing, so we're going to have to try to locate an outer skin just for the sake for Derby, for something to paint. Structurally sound though, because the inner fender here, the main part, is all still very much solid and straight, and really obviously honestly not that terribly rusty compared to how bad the bed is. But you know, pretty flaky, pretty rusty, but it appears to still be solid where it counts. If you guys see how well built this front end is, it does have a couple of crush features in the front, but it is structural right to the leaf back there. So I'm not sure if we'll just leave that alone, probably will, and then just mount our bumper right to this nice sturdy plates here to bolt to, so I don't see why we're going to change that up, but you never know. As we dig into it, experiment, I'll probably do a little bit more research even still on these things, just to make sure that I'm making the right choices. But there you go, guys. Motor wise, it's got the typical standard 5.4 liter, the same exact one we got in our 01. Automatic transmission. The guy said that he got it not running as well, and he was told that it ran just fine, but they pulled the starter to get another truck up and running, and then just never went and replaced the starter in it. So supposedly it runs and was running and moving until they pulled that starter. Can't vouch completely, but you know, that's just what I was told. And it's starting to sprinkle a little bit, so I probably should start wrapping this video up. But there you go, guys. There's our new Derby truck that we got here for the 2018 season. It's a, as I said earlier, 2000 F250 Super Duty, 4-wheel drive, standard cab, long bed. And should be pretty stout for the rules that we're intending on building it for. And hopefully when we get a new hood and a new fender on it, it'll really look like a truck again. And we'll figure out some all-frame racing style kind of paint job to throw on it, and hopefully put on a show for the crowd, as always. So there you go, guys. Hopefully this was cool. If it was, give us a thumbs up. And consider subscribing if you have not already done so. Have a great day, and until the next video, we'll talk to you later, guys.